Thanks for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Brian is on Twitter. You can follow me there, at Dave Ramsey. He says, Dave, on the show you said that the stock market has averaged around 12% a year. Can you tell me where you got that number from? Sure, S&P 500. The Standard & Poor's 500 is probably the most accurate measure of the stock market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is only a handful of stocks. The S&P 500 is an index that is the top 500 companies traded on the New York Stock Exchange. That is what we call the stock market. There are several markets, but that's what people could refer to when they say the stock market. And it's a market where stocks are exchanged, the New York Stock Exchange, where we buy and sell. Anyway, the top 500 companies on there in terms of size, if you look at the average of the Standard & Poor and the estimates of what it would have been had those particular companies been in existence since the stock market's inception, you'll see an 11.5 to a 12% rate of return, average annual. Now that's average annual. There's different ways to calculate the math on it, but that's the number that we use and the number that we're quoting all the time. We're talking about 12%. And people get all torqued out and upset about this stuff, but that's what it's done. And I own several mutual funds that have averaged well over 12% in the scope of their lifetime. And many of them are very, very old, 50 or 60 or 70 years old. And you can find them that do that. Now, that is not 12% compounded. There is a difference, and people criticize me for not, laying out that difference. That's fine. You can criticize me all you want. But let me tell you what we found. We just found a recent piece of research, and this is what we based everything we're doing on. Is this mentality. The recent piece of research said that the number one reason that people don't have money at retirement is not because of their poor rate of return. It's because they never invest. Let me tell you what your rate of return is, the quality of your assets on money you never invest. Zero. The number one problem in retirement readiness in America today, the number one reason 401k plans are failing at your workplace management team is not because you don't offer good mutual fund options in the 401k. It's because people don't put any freaking money in the funds. And then you have a 0% rate of return. And you can discuss real rate of return post-inflation. You can discuss all these freaking mathematical theories that some of you financial nerds just sit around and crunch your numbers all the time, and you do nothing to help people. And what we do is we get people to actually invest. Are they going to get 12%? No. They might get 14%. Are they going to get 14? No. They might get 18. Last year, it wouldn't have been unusual to get 18 in that year. Do I project that as an average annual going forward? No, I don't. But do I believe this crap that you people put out there that the market's only going to average 6% when it's averaged almost double that? Because all you do is sit and beat your gums, some of you in the financial world, and run your freaking mouth, and you don't do anything except talk people into being negative about this stuff because you're such nerds and you get caught up in the think tank aspects of the business instead of understanding there are human beings on the other side of this that get a 0% rate of return 100% of the time when they don't invest. And that's the number one reason people's retirement program is failing, is they don't put any freaking money in it. It's not because they put it into a mutual fund that made 11.25 instead of 11.75. Shut up. Seriously. You're the problem with the business. You got all caught up in your math class in the senior level of college and you never got out. And then you started studying for your CFP, your Certified Financial Planner, which means one of two things. If you have a CFP, it means one of two things. It means you are a certified financial planner and you do a great job because you understand that people, human beings, are on the other side of this transaction, and you actually think about what actually gets people to invest and you cause them to invest. Or CFP stands for Certified Financial Pharisee, where you get caught up in all you can do is just deal in theory all the time. You're like a freaking college professor who's never done anything in life. Now, college professors don't have to be that kind of college professor, though. There's good ones and there's bad ones. There's some of them that are an example of why tenure shouldn't exist. And we've all had those. And we all had that college professor that changed our life too, because they were awesome. And they're both out there. And the same's true in the financial world. So, Brian, built into your question is, where can you get 12%? Well, you look for good growth stock mutual funds. But the point is not 12% versus 12.5 or 13.5 or 11.5. The point is invest some freaking money. And don't get caught up in the minor details of somebody's mathematical analysis of stupidity and theory. Because 100% of the people projecting future returns have no clue what they're going to be except based on what they did in the past. But you know what the industry has to say, according to the Securities and Exchange Commission. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns. Have you heard that 1,000 times? It's no guarantee, but it's the number one forecasting method of anything in business. Past performance of my publishing department inside my company is no guarantee of future performance? No, but it does give us some trend lines by which we can do reasonable forecasting, those of us that have half a brain and run a business. And so when you're looking at a mutual fund and it has a 70-year track record of 12.2%, is it a guarantee of future returns? No. But it's a guarantee you're going to get more there than you would have gotten on your certificate of depression at 1% or 0.8% or 0.75%, not even a full percentage rate. So, in other words, that mutual fund that made 20-something last year and has averaged 12 over 50, 60, 70 years, it's got to do 10 times worse than it's ever done in its history to get down to your stupid CD. That's pretty bad. It's got to underperform by 90% or 95% to get down to where your CD is. What it's done average over 50 years. Now, past performance is not a guarantee of future returns. We know that. Anybody got walking around since when you bought that house, you didn't get a guarantee that the house was going to go up in value, but did you kind of make an assumption based on the fact that houses in that neighborhood have gone up for the past 10 years that it was probably a good neighborhood to buy in? Sure you did. Simple forecasting technique. And any idiot that's got walking around sense can do that. Except people in the financial world, some of them. And so that's what you've got to get to, Brian. Now, I don't know if that was a passive-aggressive question you were asking, and you're taking a stab at me. I'm a little bit sensitive, a little bit raw, because I've been worn out by these financial morons out there running around. I'm sick of them. Or if it was an honest question. Either way, you're getting the same answer. The same answer is, yes, those returns are possible, but that's not the point. So yes, I'm right, but that's not the point. The point is you get a 0% rate of return 100% of the time that you invest no money. Because you stood on the sideline and discussed freaking theory. You're like somebody who sits and plans 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 and never leaves home. You planned your trip to Europe for 42 years and you never see Europe before you die. Well, get your butt on a plane. What's your problem? You 100% of the time you will miss the shot that you don't take. Michael Jordan. I missed 100% of the shots I didn't take. Take your shot. And don't get caught up in the analysis of, am I at the top of the jump? Did I have the arc right? Was it going to be all net? Release the freaking ball. Invest. 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 And don't let somebody who lives their life in theory talk you out of it. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.